Greetings, warrior. I am Galaxy Commander Jep of the 12th Bear Guards. And I'm making a short video here on one of my mech builds. Now, in the past, a number of our newer guys have asked for our builds, and some of us, myself included, posted information about them on our website. Now that said, being the the one that supplied most of the builds currently in there, it takes up a lot of time and effort to take pictures of everything, post them on there, and make special notes about why I have this, etc. So screw it, I can stutter faster than I can type. So without further ado, this here, you know, you should already know it, is the Mad Dog 60-ton clan mech. And oh man, I love this baby. And here I'm going to show you what I have on it as my signature Mad Dog build. Alright, it's Mad Dog Prime, all the original Omnipods. And on it, I have dual LRM 20s. He's with Artemis. If those of you that do not know, here, bring it up here. Okay, what Artemis does: lock time boost 50%, tracking strength 50%, missile spread 66%. In other words, it's the lock time boost, the amount of time it takes you to lock onto the target. This cuts it in half. Alright, tracking strength. The target is moving, well then it's obviously more difficult for the LRMs to hit it. That's where tracking strength comes in. This basically he increases it by 50%. And missile spread, okay, to be perfectly honest, PJ never put out a manual saying exactly what all it does. So not exactly sure, at least off the top of my head, how to explain these well in detail anyway. I can, however, tell you that one of the drawbacks with Artemis is that you need line of sight, right, in order for it to come into play. That said, lock time boost. Now that I'm pretty sure you do not need line of sight for. So, shorter, lock time is not a bad thing, if nothing else. Okay, alright then. And like any other weapon uses Artemis, the Artemis animal costs twice as much as a regular, but whoopee. It's not gonna so much to begin with. Yeah, one ton and is yeah just a little over 60 thou. So, like I said, big whoop. All right, moving on. Aside from okay, as I was saying, two LRM-20s with Artemis. I have see them right here. Here altogether, 10 tons of ammo. So not half bad. Needs to say. All right, and then we have 4 ER small lasers, 1 laser AMS. And by the way, as long as nobody's raining missiles on you, if you start heating up, is okay to turn it off. Which, by the way, you do with the tide key. That's the one next to the one key between the tab and the escape key. At least that is the default, anyway. Alright, moving on. I also have 1 Galactic Probe and 1 Mark 1 TC target computer. Okay. Hey, now, first up, as I said before, this is Mad Dog Prime, all of the original Omnipods, because that is, well, one, what I need for the build. Well, all I need for it, and 2, it is the the Prime left torso is the only one with an AMS hardpoint. So, courtesy PGI, of course. There's in the lore, Omnimex can actually put AMS anywhere on their bodies, and as many as they wanted. But hey, I gotta tell all my guys, PGI. Okay, moving on. Right, reason and why I used the Mad Dog Prime. Is that aside from all the goodies I have from the skills tree, which I will get to next. See, take a look here. Just towards the quirks here. Missile cooldown 10%. Missile velocity 5%. And as a recent update, also armor quirk as well. Alright, other torso, missile cooldown 10%, missile velocity 5%, and more armor. So altogether, just the torsos alone, missile velocity, as in how fast missiles travel, 10% increase, and the cooldown, how fast you can fire them, 10 and from each torso, which makes a grand total of 20%. And this is before the skill tree or other quirks. Okay, and the 8-piece Omnipod bonus. So, clan pulse laser heat does not apply since I do not have any pulse lasers. However, I will take that minus 5% missile spread quirk. In short, missiles have a 5% and tighter grouping, which means less missiles missing. Now, I'll explain to you why I have all these on here that I do. Alright, alright, you take a look here. Yeah, now the heat, you have it at heat generation, you have it down 0.54%, so that's alright, I guess. Now, cooldown, and no, you are not seeing things. altogether, the base cooldown is 4.6. I have it down down to yeah, roughly 3.2 and change. And so, not only are my missiles faster than pretty much anyone else's, they can also fire faster than pretty much anyone else's. Unless you're talking about IS mechs with their crazy big and all too numerous quirks. At any rate, so the range I have max range on it. It's a long range weapon, so of course you want to reach out and touch someone as far as possible. Goes without saying. And so, that's that. Well, except for if you take a look at the what's it called? Chart. Yeah, as a chart. The damage chart there. It goes out. Well, on this anyway, out to the base range of 900. But at first, you see curves up. Well, that's because within 180 meters, clan LRMs do less than full damage. So, to compensate for that, I have ER Smalls. Whose optimal range is 200 meters. So anything that gets too close for elements to be effective, well, that's when and they are. Well, that's when the lasers are fully effective. So if I wanted to, I can and brawl all with them. Since I have 4 ER small lasers, 5 points of damage apiece, that's 20 points of damage with every firing I take with it. Okay, and in case I didn't mention before, with the laser AMS, and the reason why I have laser AMS is because 1, no ammo, 2, the thing weighs 1 ton, whereas regular AMS weighs half a ton, but you need 1 ton, but you typically want at least, it's only want 1 ton of ammo for it, which adds up to 1.5 tons, and one more thing on your mech that can explode if it gets hit. Yeah, I do not like having things explode. Oh damn, this thing is already a walking Roman candle as is. It means 10 tons of ammo on it, for crying out loud. So, yeah, do not be afraid to turn your AMS off. Well, laser AMS off if you are running too hot. Now, you do not want to, cook yourself after all. As long as you're the one not being LRM'd anyway. Because if you are, then if you're being LRM'd and you're getting really hot, I suggest getting some cover fast. But anyway, I do not want to take up too much of your time, so moving on to Active Probe. It counters 1 ECM, which by itself is good. What it also does, it increases your sense range by 25%. So, and since this is, And since I want my long-range missiles to get locks at as long range as possible, well, it makes sense. Okay, Mark 1 TC. Reason why I have this on here is because you take a look right in the middle there, targeting time boost, 23%. So, in other words, it helps me get locks even faster on top of my Artemis. So, yeah, every little bit helps. And this is, well, a bit more than a little bit, but at any rate. And of course also increases the chance of getting a critical hit a little bit. Okay, next up, skills. Alright, the firepower tree. Well, every single cool. Yeah, range, cooldown, velocity, and of the missile nodes, of course, and almost every heat gen and node as well. Now, reason why I have it set up this way, well, range, that's obvious. Cooldown, also obvious. Yeah, velocity, I already talked about that earlier, so moving on. Now, and the heat gen, well, the two LRM-20s by themselves have a heat management of 2. So, yeah, which is why I am I'm not too worried about not grabbing the last 2 heat gen nodes. Now, if I'm firing my missiles and my lasers, and my laser AMS is going off, well, I'm going to start heating up quick, fast, and in a hurry. Okay, so you just have to, keep track of all that stuff. Alright, moving on. Okay, high explosive. It increases critical damage of a missile crits. So it's 2 of these, so you get a crit chance of 15% and on your missiles. Definitely not bad, period. Okay, we have missile spread, 2.5%, 2 of them, for a total of 5, which is why the missile spread, it is, minus 10% altogether. You're on top of the AP Omnipod quirk. Here we have missile wreck. It's basically 10% more ammo per ton, 2 of them, or 20%, which is why even though I have 10 tons of ammo, well, with the missile racks, it's actually closer to 12. Okay, and as if the firepower tree. Next up, survival tree, which obviously has nothing. Now, reason being is, is simply put, this thing is designed to be in World of Warcraft terms a DPS archer, not a warrior tank. An archer designed to do DPS. Plain simple. Okay, mobility, bear, jump jets. Well, Magdalene doesn't even have jump jets. None of the variants do. So, yeah, operations, tempting, but not enough nodes. Now, sensors. Now, these are a must for LRM nodes. And particularly what you want is sensor range. Range, which I talked about earlier, you get up to an extra 35%, which is of course on top of the 25 from the active probe and the 4 or so from the Turing computer. Here, so be able to see the enemy before, or they see you, not a bad thing. Alright, target decay. Increases the amount of time a mech is trackable and leaves line of sight. In other words, say you're Elreming a mech, he runs get down the other side of a hill, and you lose sight of him. Well, as long as he does not have radar deprivation, you will be able to see him for an extra 3.5 seconds. Which for my speedy LRMs, yeah, should be just enough time for one more salvo to get to him, and before I lose track of him. Well, well, that plus you can play peekaboo with them. Yeah, here's you pop your head over a hill, get a lock on someone, fire your LRMs, get back down behind cover, here then, and then you peek back up, and get a visual lock on him before that 3.5 seconds are up. So it's a neat little trick I developed. So there are, of course, other nodes on this tree, but I'm only talking about the ones that matter. Okay, the radar depth. Well, see, Elias says there reduces the duration of time you remain targeted after breaking enemy's line of sight. In other words, you go behind a building. Since I have it at 100%, as soon as he loses visual on me, poof, I disappear. Even if he has target decay, I just disappear as far as he's concerned. And here we have seismic sensors. And basically, if an enemy mech is close enough and you are standing still, they will show up on your mini map. You ever see news report about earthquakes and they have the red dots with waves coming out from it? That is what it will look like. It's real handy for spotting those pesky lights that like to come up behind the LRM boats and blow out their backs. Okay, moving on. Auxiliary tree. Okay. UAVs. Well, UAVs are very important, which is why I have them on every single one of my mechs. And especially with my LRM boats. Let's say an enemy is advancing on my position, I pop a UAV, run away from them as fast as I can, and then once I get to a safe enough distance, it's an in. Turn around, and then odds are the enemy, unless they spotted it anyway, the enemy will be right underneath my UAV, which will spot for me as I rain on them from anywhere I want. That is another neat little trick that I developed. Alright. And we'll also have the strategic strikes, air and artillery strikes. Now in this case, ace artillery strikes. Now, reason being, as a learn boat, obviously you don't want to get too close to the enemy, but most of the time they want to get too close to you. So, this is a good deterrent. So aside from how it's normally used, if say an enemy mech comes up behind me, starts shooting out my back, I start running, but I'm not sure if I can outrun them or not. I might be able to spot them with my seismic sensors behind me, but I do not know what kind of a mech it is behind me. Hey, but if I'm still alive at that point, hey, the odds are it's not something super big. And besides, things that big usually not that good at sneaking up on other mechs. I can usually tell by how much damage is done, and how much firepower that mech is packing, but at any rate. Neat little trick of these things. At least how I use them with this Mad Dog. Enemy sticks up behind me. You start shooting at me, or if I see multiple enemy mechs coming at me, I'll start running away from them, but then drop that red smoke right at my feet, so that if they want to, the enemy can keep on pursuing me if they really want to, but they're going to be going through my red smoke. And odds are my artillery strike as well. And not everybody is all that willing to risk is running straight into an arty strike. And if they are, well, getting a few hits on them, maybe a kill, not a bad thing. Okay, and cool shots. I have just one cool shot out on this thing, since it has a 5 consumable max. But that's usually enough. As unless things get really serious and into it, I'm not going to need a cool shot a whole hell of a lot to begin with. So it's just there for emergencies. Okay, that does it for the tree. Next up, weapons groups. I have the lasers all in one group. Oops, so 1 click and 20 points of pinpoint damage. Now, LRMs, I have them in 2 groups. Here's a Bane. The first one is group fire, both of them together. The second one is chain fire, one at a time. So this gives it a bit more flexibility. And honestly, if I went through all different situations, and that you can use that flexibility for, probably going to be here another half hour. So, well, I'll leave that at that. Now, as I'm sure you guessed, my consumables, 2 UAVs, 2 artillery strikes, 1. Oh, here's the cool shot. My bad. Now you're right. Well, that's it. That is my signature Mad Dog. Again, in order to get everything I wanted on it, I had to shave some armor off the heads. Well, head, singular. Here, and frankly, yeah, not that easy to hit to begin with. So, I am not worried about that. Yeah, the legs. Well, most people on a Mad Dog do not go for the legs to begin with. That said, and if both of my arms get blown off, and even if I lose one side torso, well, I still have the last of my ammo down here. So as long as I have at least one launcher, I can keep on fighting. And just FYI, reason why I have my exit probe and turning computer in my CT, as a general rule, I never, ever, ever put ammo in my CT. Reason being, a CT were to get cored and my ammo got hit, well, in case you don't know, if you have ammo, particular body part, and it gets hit, well, big shocker, it blows up. And typically, it takes the whole pod, the whole body part is in with it. So, if the ammo is in the center torso, and it takes your whole center torso with it, well, you should be able to figure this one out. Anybody who has played the game at all should know this one. Okay, and that is it. I apologize for this video taking so damn long, but there it is. Good luck.